Good morning, everybody. My name is Menachem Creditor, and I am the Scholar in Residence at UJ Federation of New York. We come to you every morning of the week, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning, to start our day with some blessing and some Torah, a little bit of music, certainly a lot of friendship. And it is a delight to be able to begin our days with you every day. Today is Thursday, in case you needed to know. And it is good to be able to begin the day together. One of my favorite rituals has become not just preparing a little bit of Torah, but seeing all of our friends come back. And that is a really great feeling. Today is a gorgeous day right outside my window. And the landscapers nearby have decided not to come by and turn on all of their machinery just in time for us to hear some birds. So I hope that you can hear the birds that I can hear through my window. And glad to share that with you. So there are 48 of us together right now. 49. It's 9:02. David Shaw, I have not seen you since I lived in California. What a blessing to be with you today. All right, if you are ready, let's do this together. Let's take a deep breath and start our day with some Torah. Oh my God, seriously, 9:03 in the morning and there are 114 of us together, 115. I always forget to count myself, 116. There is something really gorgeous about having this ritual together, and I'm seeing colleagues and leaders and volunteers from the UJ Federation world. I am seeing friends from California, from Boston, wherever you are, what a blessing it is to share a sunny day. I hope that we will have a chance. I hope you'll take the time to just step outside and breathe some really good air. This is a complicated day. Why not dedicate some Torah to somebody's birthday? Ella, happy birthday. It is so nice to see you here. I'm waving down the block. I wish we could go for a walk together. Kim, it is good to be together with you too. Everyone, I'm sorry I can't say everyone's name, but there is one other person who I saw go through the screen, Sari, who is holding so many of us together at UJA, and I wanted to say thank you for all the work that you're doing to keep our staff community strong so we can keep our whole community strong. This week we have this double portion we've been speaking about each day, and if you are joining my class soon on social justice, you'll hear some of these themes in a different session. I'll be sitting in the same seat and the same screen, just, different friends maybe. Behar, Bechukotai are the last two Torah portions in the book of Leviticus. So this Shabbat we close the book. And it's a final hurrah of a book that is pervaded by rules. And I know that many of us are hesitant to embrace notions of rules. Rules are hard to deal with, especially in a modern society where we are really we're in charge of our own destiny, it feels. And sometimes those values conflict, what I want to do and what I have the right to do, is potentially at odds with what we are called to do. Jenny, I see your question about social justice classes. Some of them are based on groups that bring me in to teach, so I'm glad to talk with you offline. But there's a lot of teaching that we do online too. Keep coming back to the UJ Federation Facebook page, and you'll see lots and lots of offerings, and hopefully lots and lots of wonderful teachers. You really should just explore. It's amazing the amount of Torah we're pouring out. So in this week's Torah portions, Behar and Bechukotai, we have lots of rules. We've talked about some of them before, but I wanted to address one that has a direct bearing on our world today. And it is one of those questions that we face. Every faith community looks at itself and says, well, how much do we owe ourselves, and how obligated are we to others? And I remember recently, maybe it wasn't so recent given what I'm about to say, I was walking to work and I passed by a church, and the church says, there's a huge banner that says, all are welcome. And I just walked in, and I realized that posture of openness is actually a statement of courage, because you actually don't know who's going to walk in. We don't know. And in this world, look at what we do virtually. We welcome everybody who wants to come into this space. Now, there have been some spaces that have been invaded by those who are full of hate. But we're learning how to moderate our public space, this virtual public space, so that we can find space for each other and make sure that it's safe for everyone who wants to join. Now, listen to this week's Torah portion. This is, if you'd like to look it up, it's Leviticus chapter 25. If your kinsman, and that's going to be a word that we talk about, being in straits, in a difficult circumstance, comes under your authority, and you hold him as though a resident alien, right? A ger toshav, someone who is with you, but not a full citizen. Let him live by your side. Do not take from him accrued interest, but fear your God. Let him live by your side as your kinsman. Do not lend him money at advance interest, or give him your food with interest. I, God, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan to be your God. Think about what this means. Even in the Torah's time, the book of Leviticus, even in the Torah's time, there are different kinds of people who gather together in one physical space. There are citizens, and then there are resident aliens. When we left Egypt, some people forget this. When we left Egypt, a large group of people who had also been oppressed in Egypt left with us. They weren't Israelites, but they were on the journey together. Think about what it means to be part of a collective, a nation, where some people are officially citizens and others are here. The Torah says, don't exact big interest from them, especially imagine how vulnerable they are in the Torah's time. We're in the desert. Rather, treat them as your kinsmen. Why? Because I'm God. And citizenship is not a divine category. All people, our kinsmen, are, and that's such an ancient way of saying it, we're all neighbors. We're all equal in the eyes of God. And we're called to treat each other as such. Now, the rabbis throughout the ages begin interpreting this, and I want to read one specific section of rabbinic writing. This is from the Talmud, commenting on the text we just read about how to treat people who are not in the exact same category of citizenship. The Mishnah teaches, so this is around the year 200 CE, an ancient text, one does not protest against poor Gentiles, meaning someone who is not Jewish and living in poverty, who come to take gleanings from your field, forgotten sheaves, and the produce of your field, which is given to the poor. Although you might have thought that they were meant exclusively for the Jewish poor, on account of the ways of peace, mipnei darchei shalom, you are told to leave it for anyone. You might have thought that it was only for some, but it's for all. Similarly, the sages taught in a Braita, another ancient text, one sustains poor Gentiles with poor Jews, One visits sick Gentiles along with sick Jews, and one buries dead Gentiles along with dead Jews. Now, all of this is not necessarily the happiest of texts, but think about what this means. Think about what this means. Visiting the sick. You ever been to a hospital to visit one person and you pass by someone else's room and you wonder who's visiting them? The answer is you are. The answer is you must. When you look at this text, we take care of each other, and it's all, it says, mipnei darchei shalom. It is all for the purpose of peace. Now, there are times in Jewish history where the reason for pursuing peace is to protect the Jews of a larger community by showing up in civic society. But I gotta tell you, isn't that a good enough reason to do good? Anything that motivates you to do good is the right reason to do good. If it is truly for the sake of peace, and truly in sync with the Torah's notion of how equal we are in God's eyes, isn't it all worth it? Isn't it anything we can do for each other, no matter who the other is, isn't it all worth it? So what I'd love to ask you to think about today, and I will do some thinking about this too. Boy, do I ache for peace. What am I willing to do so that we can get there together? Who can you help today? And not who that you ordinarily think of can you help today. Who that you don't ordinarily think of can you help today? If the reason for treating resident aliens, in Hebrew ger toshav, in the Torah, if the reason for treating them with dignity is because God is God, that sounds like a really good reason to do it too. All of us are created in that same image. We don't look the same, but that's the glory of being created in the infinite one's image. We're not going to be the same. We're not going to act the same. We're not going to believe the same. But we have one thing in common. That holy root, which is human identity. And therefore we are obligated to each other as children of God to be there for each other in countless ways. So let's count one way. That's our job today. Find one thing you can do for someone else. And let's make today a day where we look beyond whatever tribal boundaries we usually live in. What's one thing you can do for someone beyond the boundaries that you usually identify within? What a great way to live today. So I hope that you have a beautiful day. I hope you can hear the birds over my shoulder. If the birds can sing, we can too. So let's do that. Let's sing our way out, everybody. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow again at 9 o'clock in the morning. What a blessing to be together today, to start our day together. So, bless you all. Boker Tov. Have a beautiful day.